has come to our family. You remember our venerable house? Opulent and imperial, gazing proudly from its stoic perch above the moor. I lived all my years in that ancient, rumor-shadowed manor, fattened by decadence and luxury. And yet I began to tire of conventional extravagance. Singular, unsettling tales suggested the mansion itself was a gateway to some fabulous and unnameable power. With relic and ritual, I bent every effort towards the excavation and recovery of those long-buried secrets, exhausting what remained of our family fortune on swarthy workmen and sturdy shovels. At last, in the salt-soaked crags beneath the lowest foundations, we unearthed that damnable portal antediluvian evil. Our every step unsettled the ancient earth, but we were in a realm of death and madness. In the end, I alone fled laughing and wailing through those blackened arcades of antiquity, until consciousness failed me. You remember our venerable house, opulent and imperial. It is a festering abomination. I beg you, return home, claim your birthright, and deliver our family from the ravenous, clutching shadows of the darkest dungeon.
Hello everyone, this is SailorRaybloomDZ's and welcome to my Nuzlocke series. This is a series I always wanted to make, just to record my entire playthrough from start to finish. And so I decided now it's the right time by replacing my weekly streams with this series. Darkest Dungeon is a game I love but also kind of hate. Like, I love the visuals, the town event, the town management, the combat, and of course the characters. But sometimes the game is just cruel to you with its RNG, and getting into this game is really hard. Like, it took me like at least a month to learn the basics of this game. However, despite all that, I really like how you are forced into adapting into various situations, and sometimes retreat is just a better option. Now, before I start this series, let's actually explain how this challenge works by explaining the rules. So, the first rule that's pretty easy to understand is that I'm only allowed to use one hero per class, so that means I can only have one Ironman, one Crusader, etc. So this gives me in total of 18 heroes to work with, and this also includes DLC classes such as Musketeer. Second rule, if any hero dies, they stay dead and cannot be replaced by another one from the stagecoach. However, they may be resurrected through town event if I get lucky. Third rule, I'm going to play this on Darkest difficulty. I'm also experienced with Stygian and Blood Moon, however I don't feel confident in playing Nuzlocke challenge on those difficulties, since my first one I didn't manage to keep everyone alive, so I just want to keep things simple and just play on the default difficulty that this game was designed for. Next, Crimson Cold and Color Madness are enabled in this playthrough. First time I did this challenge, I haven't had these two, enabled, so I'm really curious how this run is gonna go with these two included. Next rule. This one was kind of tricky for me. I'm not using that many mods to be honest, but there is one that I'm pretty much used to already, and that's a speed mod. It's called Faster Darkest Dungeon, and I was thinking if I should allow it in this playthrough, and I decided that yes, I can use it. However, I'm not using any balance mods or anything like that. This is all just going to be pure vanilla. Next, how am I going to pick people from the stagecoach? Well, pretty much I'm going to pick any first person that shows up in the stagecoach. I get no rerolls. If I see someone twice on the same week, then I'm just going to pick one person at random. Starting a new file is optional, but I pretty much prefer running with whatever I get. Next rule. This is much for flavor purposes. Every hero has a canon name, and I like naming my heroes. So I decided that every hero is going to bear their real name, and I'm also going to use skin number 1. However, for Musketeer, I have to point out that in the portrait she's a redhead, and that one matches to skin 4, so she's going to be pretty much the only one with a different number for the skin. Next, this is a problem that I ran into my first attempt at Nuzlocke, is when I lacked heroes for Darkest Dungeon. And this is why I wanted to play on Darkest difficulty in the first place, because there is an option to switch Never Again rule from strict to permissive, and what it does, that the hero that has the Never Again can enter the Darkest Dungeon. However, it comes with some penalties for that, and those penalties are 80 stress when entering the dungeon and minus 25 virtue chance, so pretty much they cannot virtue in this mission anymore. This is going to create some complications if I manage to lose more heroes than necessary in order to complete the run. And finally, the challenge ends if you either run out of heroes or complete the final Darkest Dungeon mission. I was thinking about specifying the goal of this run, and I decided, in order to complete the Stygian or Blood Moon run, you have to complete the final Darkest Dungeon mission. So I figured it would only make sense to apply for this challenge as well. I also decided to apply a score system to this. I tried to be as simple as possible with basic numbering system. Basically, each hero that survives at the end of the run is worth 3 points, and with 18 heroes in total, you can gather up to 54 points. And yes, in the final Darkest Dungeon as well, if you lose someone to the Heart of Darkness, you lose points for that. Sorry, that's just how Darkest Dungeon works. For the bosses, I thought it would only make sense to give them point values based on their difficulty. So apprentice bosses are worth 1 point, veteran are worth 2 points, and champion ones are worth 3 points. And that same rule applies for the roaming bosses. So the roaming bosses are Collector, Fanatic, and Think from the Stars. Shambler is a mini boss that you can trigger from the Shambler altar, the one where you have to put torch in there, and he's also difficulty dependent. So is Shrieker, although Shrieker is kind of random, because it can either appear randomly or you have to lose 8 trinkets, which would require losing heroes, so it's most likely going to come at random. However, Wolf's Quest is considered Darkest difficulty, and Darkest is like the hardest difficulty of the game. It counts for Darkest Dungeon missions as well, so both Wolf and the Darkest Dungeon missions are worth 4 points instead of 3. Next we have Crimson Court bosses or CC bosses, and these ones are also very easy to understand. They are just difficulty dependent. Crocodilian appears on every quest from Apprentice up to the Darkest where Countess lives, so you can get up to 4 points for Crocodilian and 4 points for Countess. Baron is only worth 2 points because he only lives in the veteran mission, and both Viscount and Garden Guardian are worth 3 points. Color of Madness bosses or calm bosses are weird. You've got Miller and Sleeper, and they basically Miller first starts out as a veteran boss, but then he resides in Endless Harvest, so does Sleeper, and Endless Harvest counts as darkest difficulty, so they are both worth 4 points. And in Endless Harvest you can also encounter the region bosses. However, because in the original game they only go up to champion, I decided not to give them an additional point, just because they now appear in Endless Harvest. However, Crocodilian and Wolf still give you 4 points, because that's how they were originally designed. Alright, let's start this file already. You can see I've got plenty of files. This one is not complete, this is the first file that I started in this game, and I pretty much abandoned it because I was doing really poorly. This is the first file that I completed. It was done on Radiant, and after that, instead of doing the DLC run, I actually completed my first try at the Nuzlocke, and then I went back to finish this file. And then I also attempted Blood Moon and Stygian. I did everything under the time limit, like defeating all bosses and such, but I haven't built all the districts, which I am planning to do in this file. I'm gonna come back to it at some point. Let's just start this one. We've got all the DLCs, even the Musketeer. If you wonder why Butcher's Circus is not in this, it's because I'm playing the GOG version. Everyone is used to the Steam version. Is this your first estate? No, I've already played this game plenty of times, so yeah, let's go to the darkest difficulty. Normal campaigns are the original settings for the game. While there is no time limit to win, the campaign will be longer and more challenging than Radiant mode, so that's pretty much basic stuff. And I'm gonna name it Nuzlocke 2. My second one. And I'm actually not going to enable Fast the Darkest Dungeon just yet. And that's because I thought about introducing this game to my friends by explaining the basic stuff. Pretty much how I learned this game from my experience. And to maybe gather some new fans. I don't know, maybe you're a beginner and just wonder how this game works, so I thought maybe I can try to explain how it works. So I'm not touching Fast the Darkest Dungeon for this guy, but once I go through all of the basics, I'm just gonna enable it, and you're gonna catch up to my speed. So let's watch the introduction first.
You will arrive along the old road. It winds with a troubling, serpent-like suggestion through the corrupted countryside, leading only, I fear, to ever more tenebrous places. There is a sickness in the ancient pitted cobbles of the old road, and on its writhing path you will face viciousness, violence, and perhaps other damnably transcendent terrors. So steel yourself, and remember there can be no bravery without madness. The old road will take you to hell, but in that gaping abyss, we will find our redemption.
So I have seen some other guys doing this kind of stuff, like the Nuzlocke series, and I was thinking how I would make this series interesting to some of you viewers, and what I thought was making this kind of board. So if for some reason you like skipping episodes to just skip the grinding and stuff and just try to catch the more interesting moments, this is what I came up with. The very first row is all the heroes that we can get, and all the other characters on the left, those are the bosses that we can defeat and the 4 darkest dungeon missions. And the cool thing I thought is with the region bosses, here you go, watch the Necromancer, it's the very first one, is that the bosses have coins to represent the points that you can get. So I thought that was pretty cool. And for the CC bosses, watch the croc on this one. The crocs have the croc has blood drops because this is Crimson Court, and Crimson Court is all about vampires. And for the calm bosses, here, watch the Miller. The Miller has got crystal shards to represent the points. I thought this would be pretty interesting, but right now comes the interesting part, the heroes. So right now everyone is grey, that means we haven't found these yet, but right now we have got 2 heroes that we are controlling right now, and that one is Highwayman and Crusader. So right now both of these guys are highlighted, we have got them already, there's nothing else left for us to do, but we can check out their skins. So right now Crusader has got skin number 2, so let me just change that. And if you wonder what these are, this is unofficial color palette expansion, but there's no way for me to installing it other than just by deleting the files, and I cannot be bothered, so I'm just going to quickly change it to skin number 1. It's gonna take a while, so yeah, this is their basic skins. The Highwayman is named Dismas, and the Crusader is named Raynor, so those are their default names. Pretty much when you start the file, they always come the same, except for the skins. They're always randomized, and I never really understood why. It just kind of bothers me. And now comes the very most important part. So once we have got all the heroes collected, all we can pretty much do is stare at the color icons. But I thought about extending this a little bit further by adding various borders and icons to represent their state. So with the DLCs that we have installed, there's 4 things that can happen with these heroes. So first thing that can happen, watch Highwayman. Right now Highwayman has the blood around his border, so that means that he is cursed, he's got Crimson Curse. Crimson Curse is part of Crimson Core DLC, and basically what this does is that the hero becomes a vampire. You've got to manage so-called blood to feed them, otherwise they're gonna die. But the Crimson Curse comes with its various benefits. Next thing that can happen is with this shard border. So there is a location called Farmstead, and once a hero visits Farmstead, they can later become refracted, which comes with its own downsides. So I want this noted as well. Unlike Crimson Curse, which can go away and come back at some point, with this border, this is going to pretty much stay until the end of the run. Like, there's no way to remove it. Once you visit Farmstead, you're just gonna get refracted at some point, if that happens. Next thing that can happen is Never Again. So once a hero finishes a Darkest Dungeon mission, they become Never Again. This means that under normal circumstances they cannot visit another Darkest Dungeon mission, but with the difficulty that we chose, the darkest one, we can switch the rules from strict to permissive, and that comes with its own penalties. So yeah, this is like a medal that the hero gets, that they've done a good job. And the final one is the skull, and that's the icon we don't want to see, and that means that the hero is dead. Yeah, I'm pretty much done. We cannot recruit another Highwayman to replace our other one. So And I also thought about combining all of these to like various stuff. This, hold on. Yeah, this is the one with all the icons. If like Dismas went to Farmstead, he was cursed, he was in the darkest dungeon, and now he's also dead. So we can combine it like this. But right now, nothing interesting is happening on with this highwayman, so we're just gonna have it like this. Now, the way this game functions, normally you have 4 heroes to work with, but right now in this tutorial, we have only 2 heroes, and that's Dismas, the highwayman, and Reynold, the crusader. There's like a bunch of information going on, but I'm just going to explain how I think is the most appropriate, like go from very basic stuff to more complex stuff. So this is highwayman. This is a pretty easy class to understand. He's got 2 ways to deal damage. He can do the melee attack with his knife, or do the ranged with his pistol. And he's a damage dealer, so that's pretty easy to understand. He just does damage, that's all he does. There's nothing wrong with it. He's a rogue character, so he's very good at disarming traps. He can prevent ambush. We'll explain how preventing ambushes work. He can also stress heal when we get to camp. And in combat, he can move 2 spaces forward and 2 spaces backwards. I can explain it further in the combat itself. And his crit bonus is +2 speed. I'll also explain crit bonuses when they come. And this is Crusader. Crusader is also pretty simple to understand. He's a damage dealer, much like Highwayman, but he's more focused on the melee. It's pretty much frontline damage. But he's also very flexible. He works in the back line. He can be your healer or stress healer if you want to. He can also prevent ambush. He's very good at stress healing at the camp, and he can also become your tank. He's a very tanky character. Unlike Highwayman, who's got 23 HP, Crusader has a lot of HP at 33, and he also has higher damage. So this is 5 to 10, and this is... Normally it's 6 to 12, but there's a quirk in there. I'll go over quirks much later. So 6 to 12, that's Crusader's damage at level 1. In combat, he can move 1 space forward and 1 space back, and his crit bonus is plus 15% prot. I'll explain what prot is later. Oh yeah, he also has extra damage against Unholy, and when you go to the Empire screen, like when you buy provisions and stuff, he brings holy water. So yeah, right now, this is our inventory. We have got 2 food that we could consume, however, our guys are fully healed, so there's no reason to click on this. And this is a map. Oh yeah, one more thing. When you start the game, I would suggest going into the gameplay. Quest warnings. Yeah, that's not bad. Where's that option? Yeah, auto centered dungeon map. Turn this off. You'll thank me later. So yeah, this is how visually the game looks like what's happening currently, and this is the map. So like this room right there, this is like what's supposed to be happening. The 2 heroes got out of the stagecoach that just crashed, and we can enter the next room by clicking on it.
Brigands have run up these lanes. Keep to the side path. The Hamlet is just ahead.
The way this game works is that you can click with the left mouse button to make the characters move. Like you can go back or forward, but I prefer using A and D to move them back and forward. So Right now we are in the hallway. These little tiles are the hallway, and the big tiles are the rooms. So we are now tasked to go into this room.
Dispatch this thug in brutal fashion, that all may hear of your arrival.
So now here we got the combat. At the start of every turn, or I'm sorry, every start of every round, every character on the screen gets one action. So everyone gets to act once. Right now it's Hireman's turn, and his turn is determined by the speed roll. So his normal speed is 7, 5 base plus the quirk, but also he has to roll for the speed, like from 1 to 8, and then plus 7. That's how the order is determined, and it is always random. And right now what he can do is, attack this enemy. So he's got two options. He can either use knife to attack him. Right now over here it says he's got 93% to hit. That's his accuracy. 5% that's a crit, so it does maximum damage plus half of the max damage. So it multiplies it by 1.5. And hero damage is how much he can do. So he can do 4 to 8 damage. And the dots on the skills explains, the yellow dots explain where he can use this attack, like from the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st position, and the red dot explains where he can hit this enemy with. So he can hit the 1st and 2nd enemy. It's always 4 versus 4. So let's attack this guy. And now it's his turn. And he managed to move me. Right now we can see the skill that he used. It's called Uppercut Slice. And it also displays some icon. The blue arrow, that's the move icon. He just managed to move my Crusader. And now Crusader comes with more options than Hireman, because all of his attacks pretty much focus the front line, except for this one. This is a buff, but we're not going to explain right now. So this is a basic damage. It does 83 accuracy and 6 to 12 damage. So let's try to hit him.
Continue the onslaught.
And victory! We've got a bunch of money from it. We can either click on this or press space to take it all. And now it's in our inventory. But right now our party got shuffled. We can either use this icon to move our character, but we can also use default party order to do that right now, to do the same thing, but because this is the first quest, for some reason I cannot do it. So let's continue further. Oh yeah, this is a curio. You can either click on it or use W to see what it does. Someone has camped here recently, so we can check what's inside the tent or ignore it. And we're going to choose this to check out what's inside.
Leave nothing unchecked. There is much to be found in forgotten places.
So yeah, let's take it all. Right now we are at the end of the hallway. This is the door that leads to this room. We can either click on the door or press W to enter it again. And before actually doing that, I can now eat the food because Crusader lost some HP. Or Reynold, or I should say, that's his name.
An ambush. Send these vermin a
And
message.
there are more guys.
The rightful owner has returned, and their kind is no longer welcome.
So right now we're dodged, so every hero has some kind of dodge. It's much like with accuracy, it's percentage based, like some attacks from the enemies have accuracy and the dodge helps us reduce that chance of getting hit. So right now we dodged. So yeah, Crusader has 5 dodged, but Hireman has higher chance to dodge. And right now we have got more options to attack. This is pistol shot. it can hit either 2, 3 or 4th enemy, and right now this guy is in the 3rd position because this is a big guy, and you can see like this divided, this is a 2 space enemy, so he takes up position 1 and position 2, and this guy's in position 3. So my plan is that Hireman is going to use pistol shot on this guy to get rid of him, and once he's gone, he can help Reynold to defeat this guy. So that sounds like the plan. And right now, this is stunning blow. It has a chance to stun. It says 100%, but every enemy has some kind of resistances. So when you check out what resistances he has, he's got 50% chance to resist the stun. And the way resistances work is that you take 100% chance to stun the enemy minus the 50% resistance. So I have 50% chance to stun him, and what stun does is basically skip their turn. So let's try doing that. And it didn't work. And he got 4 damage. Luckily he did not move. So yeah, point blank shot. It does some movement, but it also debuffs. And the debuff he pretty much applied to himself. So this is a debuff. It goes away after some time, and it modifies their stats. So right now he's a little bit slower. So let's continue shooting this guy. Unfortunately, he dodged, but he also dodged, so this is pretty much a dodge fest. Let's try stunning him again. And it did not work, but at least we are doing some little bit of damage. Oh boy, 7. So yeah, in this game, aside from health, you also have a stress bar, so when the stress reaches 100, that's not good. The hero has to roll an affliction check, and if they fail the roll, they become afflicted, and affliction comes with all kinds of downsides, like they become, like, they can do random actions, they can attack allies, they can disobey your rules, they can disobey your orders. It's pretty much not pleasant. However, you can also roll for virtue, and when you roll for virtue, you go back to free stress, and you get a bunch of benefits. But yeah, this is like the game's way of managing like the mentality of the heroes, like with this mechanic. So we failed like 1 hit, so let's try killing him. There we go. Finally he's done. And Crusader is now bleeding. This guy inflicted bleed on us, and it's damage over time. It goes away after some rounds, and we have no way of cure that, so Crusader is now bleeding. It takes 2 damage per round, and yeah, I still want to stun this guy. Can we get the stun? No? Okay. Luckily we dodged that whip, and you can see right now in the skills that Rain of Whips does stress damage, so yeah, stress is not good. But right now we can do this. This attack does more damage, or does it? Yeah, it does more damage, and that's because Open Vein also does bleed damage. So let me check this guy out. He has 20% chance to resist the bleed, so we've got 80% chance to inflict bleed, and the bleed does 2 points of damage for 3 rounds. It also does debuff, but the debuff pretty much makes his resistance lower and it lowers his speed. But let's just say this attack like is doing damage, and it also bleeds. And now he's bleeding. Ooh, this was a nice hit, and he managed to move me. Not that it matters, because Hireman has no problem using an attack from the first position. Crusader is really low on health, so he managed to tank a lot of hits from this guy. And I'm thinking maybe I should go for the smite and try to finish him. I got 85% chance to hit him, and the way accuracy works is that every move has some kind of accuracy. This one has 85% and this one has 90%, and when we look at this enemy's dodge, it's 0. If this guy had 5 dodge, then I would subtract from the accuracy of this move, so this would be 85 and this would be 80, but because he's got no dodge, I got 85% chance to hit him. And we did so.
Alone does not dissuade the sharp.
And we've got a bunch of loot. Yeah, the quest is now complete. We can either go back to the Hamlet or continue adventuring. And yeah, can we try opening this chest? And it did not work. Luckily, we resisted a blight. Blight is pretty much bleed, but with different flavor. So let's just go back to the Hamlet. This is the result screen. We've got 5,000 gold for completing the quest. This is the treasure that we collected and our heirlooms. I'll explain what each one does, and yeah. Both our heroes got 2 experience points, and right now they are level 1. And now quirks. So quirks are trying to make each hero unique by being random. And we could see that Iron Man had some kind of quirk that improved his speed. So right now this quirk makes him worse against beasts. There are 4 kinds of enemies that we can encounter in the base game. That's Unholy, Beast, Eldritch, and Human. So let's go back to the Hamlet.
Welcome home, such as it is. This squalid hamlet, these corrupted lands, they are yours now, and you are bound to them.
So yeah, this is our Hamlet, this is our base. This is activity log, you can check what is up. And this basically summarizes our whole journey. Like, this is week 1. And these guys just returned, they got improved. And we're going to ignore this for now, but this is basically a checklist. If you like start up the game, this is like a nice way to get into this game by checking what kind of goals you have. Like, successfully complete your first foray into the ruins. That's really easy to understand. And then you've got a bunch of bosses that you can defeat and complete the game. But also, you can check out what various heroes there are by leveling them all the way up to level 6. The heroes can only go up to level 6, there's no level 7. And yeah, this is our Hamlet, our base, where we improve our heroes, where we raise them, where we take care of them. If someone gets afflicted, we put them either into the abbey or the tavern. They are not locked now. But yeah, let's check out what various things there are. Let's check out the graveyard.
Most will end up here, covered in the poisoned earth, awaiting merciful oblivion.
When someone dies, they go here and they stay there. You cannot do anything about it. This is pretty much showing you what happened to those poor souls.
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
This is a place that shows you all the lore and stuff, like the first cutscene, the intro to the first mission, the various bosses, even including the DLC, and some collected journals. I don't think we are going to collect some journals because they're kind of stingy. You have to put them in your inventory, and that's kind of annoying. I just wish that you could just see them, they would automatically appear there, but that's not how it works.
Trinkets and charms, gathered from all the forgotten corners of the earth.
Nomad Wagon is where you can purchase trinkets, but here's a trick. The trinkets are very much expensive, and this is how much gold we have currently, so we can pretty much ignore this area for now. Let's not go into the wagon. This is the most important thing right now.
Women and men, soldiers and outlaws, fools and corpses. All will find their way to us now that the road is clear.
This is where we can get our heroes, and if this were a normal playthrough, we would get all kinds of heroes, we will get more duplicates, but right now we are just fishing for, you know, one of each kind. And when you start the game, you always get one Vestal and one Plague Doctor. So, and each one comes with their own dialogue. Oh yeah, actually I forgot, when you recruit someone, the narrator that speaks right now is going to say something about the hero, so let's recruit the Vestal.
A sister of battle, pious and unrelenting.
Vestal is like a cleric character, like a healer. She can heal the allies by being in the 3rd or 4th position, and she can heal anyone with this little heal. It does 4 to 5. Or heal everyone by either 1, 2, or 3. But she can also do other stuff. Right now she can do de-stopping, that's currently not useful at the moment. And for this one she needs to be in the 2nd or 1st position. But if we get guild unlocked, she can also stun or hit someone with this attack if she's in the back. She can also prevent ambush. There's something that's called religious. I'll explain how the religious mechanic works later when it comes to it, but basically she can prevent ambush if you have her in the party. And during combat she can move 1 space forward and 1 space back, and her crit bonus is 25% healing skills. And much like Crusader, she can do extra damage against Unholy with this specific attack. And this also does extra damage against Unholy, so she's got 2 attacks that do bonus damage against Unholy. And her canon name, I actually forgot. The heroes that you get from now on can't be random names, but I'll always give them canon names. So the canon name for Vestal is Julia. And her skin is this one, the brown one. And now we've got Plague Doctor.
What better laboratory than the blood-soaked battlefield?
Plague Doctor, ooh, okay. Plague Doctor, she's a support class. She can stun enemies. She has a medicine that can cure blight and bleed. If she was present when Crusader was bleeding, she could cure him. And she can also buff her allies. She can also do bleed and do blight when she's in the back. At the camp, she can cure diseases, and she's got very high diseases. She's Plague Doctor. She pretty much specializes in diseases. During combat, she can move 1 space forward and 1 space back, and her crit bonus is plus 20% blight chance. Also, when you bring Plague Doctor in the party, she brings 1 anti-venom. And right now there's something interesting. This quirk right there, everyone comes with quirks, so these are the positive quirks. Of course they are positive. These are negative quirks. They are negatives. She does less crit with many skills, which applies for Incision. But this quirk, this one is interesting. This one has got star in there, and this is a feature from Color of Madness, or Com, if you will. And this quirk, I can only have one of this quirk in the entire roster, so Plague Doctor is pretty much now unique with this special quirk. Oh yeah. Oh, oops. Come on, I want to name this Plague Doctor. Her name is Paracelsus. I apologize for the pronunciation, by the way. I'm not sure if I'm doing this right. But yeah, this is the base skin that she comes with. She's all black. And yeah, right now we can also upgrade the stagecoach. So the heirlooms that we have got, this is for upgrading our town to like improve it, to make it stronger. And here we can increase number of available heroes. So right now we can get 2 heroes per week, and with this upgrade we can get 3 heroes. If this were a normal playthrough, I would suggest having 4 heroes per week. So like right now just upgrade this to have 3 available. And this is the roster size. With 18 heroes available, we have to work with this pretty hard. And right now I'm thinking, do I want to risk having only 2 heroes per week and just rely on luck, or make it a little bit easier for me? I think I can afford this. So these are the heirlooms. The way heirlooms work is that portraits are considered rare, the busts and deeds are considered uncommon, and crests are common. And you can also trade heirlooms if you like. Trading is really dangerous. You only want to trade when you like really need something. But right now we've got plenty of heirlooms. I don't think we need to trade anything. And we always get heirlooms from quest rewards, and we like do dungeon crawling and just find a random loot. So let's just upgrade this.
More arrive, foolishly seeking fortune and glory in this domain of the damned.
So right now we can get 3 heroes per week. I also forgot to play the audio for 2 of our main guys. I actually downloaded the narration for both of them. For all the heroes actually, in case I screw up and the audio just doesn't play. So let's listen what narrator has to say about Highwayman.
Elusive, evasive, persistent. Righteous traits for a rogue.
And finally for the Crusader.
A mighty sword arm anchored by holy purpose. A zealous warrior.
So yeah, this is all the introduction. We've got Reynold, we've got Dismas, Junia, and Paracelsus. And right now I'm going to highlight them. So here's Junia. And Paracelsus. Now all of them are highlighted. They are in our town. Once we've got nothing else to do, we can go to the Embark.
A mecca of madness and morbidity. Your work begins.
This is where we get to choose our missions. Right now we have got ruins available. Oh, darkest dungeon, but we are not going there. We are not going there. This is an easy mission. This is apprentice mission. Heroes from level 0 up to level 2 can enter apprentice missions. And this is basically the description of the mission, and this is the specification of our goal. So we've got to explore 90% of rooms, and this is our reward that we can get. We always get gold, some heirlooms, and some kind of trinkets. So what trinkets do is that you can equip them to your heroes to improve some of their skills, or like improve their stats. But right now we've got no trinkets available. We can unequip only one, but we've got nothing. And here we get to build our team by dragging them from the roster and putting them in the spaces where we feel like. So right now we have assembled our team. Reynold is in the front, Dismas is in rank 2, Junia is in rank 3, and Paracelsus is in rank 4. And right now we get to enter this mission.
The cost of preparedness, measured now in gold, later in blood.
As I mentioned in the beginning, Crusader always brings one holy water, and Black Doctor brings one anti-venom, so these always come with us, we cannot sell them back. So we get them as a nice little bonus. And now we get to purchase our food. The number of provisions that you get, that you can buy, always depends on what kind of mission you try to enter. So right now we are entering a short mission, and we can buy 18 food, 4 shovels, 6 anti-venom, other stuff like bandages, medical herbs, keys, holy water, laudanum, and torches. And this is not important right now. The food is needed for hunger checks, so when you like exploring the dungeon, the heroes can get hungry and you have to feed them. It always costs 1 food per hero, so with the party of 4, we need 4 food to feed our party. Shovels are used for obstacles, anti-venom is for curing blight, bandages are used for curing bleed, medical herbs is for removing debuffs, and holy water improves the defenses of our heroes, so it improves their blight, bleed, and that's all the resistance that they can improve, I think. Oh yeah, also disease resistance. And torches are for light. Like when you explore in the dungeon, the light slowly goes down, and the lower the light gets, the more dangerous the dungeon gets. Like the enemies become stronger, they hit very harder, you have harder time to dodge, you also receive extra stress. But when you keep it up to full, you should be a little bit safer. So with the money that we have, I think that we can get away with 8 food. We also want torches. Oh yeah, by the way, if you hold shift and click on the provision, you get a full stack though, so you can have 8 of torches in 1 stack, 12 food per stack, then 4 shovels, 6 anti-venom, 6 bandages, 6 medical herbs, 6 keys, 6 holy water, and 6 laudanum. There's other provisions and other treasures that you can gather, and they all have different value for the stack. So that's something that you'll get used to over time. Right now we're just going to bring this. This is like the base. This pretty much goes into any region that you go. And then we can bring 1 shovel in case we find an obstacle. And right now we have got 1 holy water and 1 anti-venom, so it's like very basic first aid. We can include single bandage there to like improve it. And do we want herbs in this? We can bring 1 herb, I think. And then 1 key in case we find some kind of chest. And I think this is pretty much it. So right now, yeah, this is how the dungeon looks like. It's much bigger than the first one that we met. And if you noticed before, these 2 ladies, they were at 0 stress when we recruited them from the stagecoach. And right now they've got 20, and that's because, you know, they're still newbies. Like level 0s, that's a newbie level. They always like coming to the dungeon with a little bit of stress because they're just beginners. They still need to get used to the whole dungeon crawling. And because these guys are level 1s, they know how the stuff works. They are pretty much prepared, so they did not receive extra stress. when you walk in the hallways, you'll notice there was a stress symbol above Reynolds' head. And that's because you'll always receive stress when you walk in the dungeon. There's nothing you can do about it. And it's always very minimal stress. Like right now he just only took 2, but there are worse things that can really stress him out. Like 2 stress, that's like nothing. He's at 12 stress. And he's like very chill. If this was 50 stress, then it would be a little bit of worrying. And if it would be near 100, then it would be a little bit worrisome. It's like... how would I explain it? Basically, he's pretty much doing fine. There's like nothing interesting going on. And this is the light. Currently, it's now at 88. And the things that's highlighted in the yellow, those are bonuses that we get for keeping the light at this level. So it's divided into 100, 75, 50, 25, and 0. And when it's above 75, we get radiant light, and it gives us these bonuses. You can even snuff out the torch if you want to, but right now we don't want to. And this curio gives us a torch. And right now, you see there's red text appearing, so now we get extra stress, and the monsters get more crit, and we don't want that. So we can either click on this to raise the torchlight, and right now we've got 8 torches. We had 9 before, but we consumed 1 torch. And there are a bunch of skeletons right now. Paracelsus. I'll just call her Para for short. It's much simpler than calling her by full name. But yeah, she can right now only stun this guy. So let's try doing that. And yeah, this skill also moves the enemy. So when an enemy is stunned, they lose an action and they receive a little buff which improves their stun resist. So this pretty much makes it harder for us to stun the enemy again. And because these enemies are skeletons, they have very high bleed resist. So our open vein is slightly worse, but we can still attack him with this.
Be gone, fiend.
And he's dead. And right now, Highwayman stress healed. So sometimes when you kill an enemy, the hero can stress heal themselves. It's like free stress heal. And stress heal is obviously good. It lowers their stress. And now Junia can heal, but nobody is hurt at the moment, so she can do this attack, which is very weak and kind of useless at the moment, but she's got nothing else to do.
In Radiance, may we find victory.
We also slightly got a little bit of torch. This gives us +5 torch, so now the torch is up to full. And we lowered its dodge, so this guy should be a little bit easier to hit. So normally Reynolds does 6 to 12 or 7 to 14, and because this is unholy, we do 8 to 15.
Back to the pit.
And he's dead. We've got our chest with a bunch of stuff. Here's our deeds, our heirlooms.
Otherworldly corruption.
These are various gems, so these are citrines, and much like with provisions, they stack up, and you can have 5 citrines at once. But they take up space in your inventory. And this is an obstacle. This requires a shovel.
Cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
When you come to an obstacle, always click on this icon and avoid this one. Because when you click that one, the hand icon, the heroes receive a little bit of damage and a bunch of stress, and that's not what we want. Oh! Oh boy. Okay, so sometimes hero can get surprised, and that basically shuffles our party, so that's a little bit unfortunate because this is highlight, high torch. But we got surprised because we didn't scout this place. There's scouting in this game, and when you have things scouted, you know what's up ahead. But because we didn't know what's up ahead, we got a little bit surprised by this attack. This guy is a little bit stronger, and this is a weaker one, so let's try killing him. He's got 5 to 9 damage, and never mind. Oh, this lady is nasty. No! 19 stress, and she took our torch. That's not good. We can use items during combat. Right now we can use holy water or torch. So let's improve our torch because we don't want extra stress. And right now, Para has got a lot more options, so she can either stun this lady, so she doesn't get a turn next round, or we can kill some of these guys. Let's try blowing her. This does shuffle, and with the stun it does 100%, and she's got 10 move resist, so it's like 90% to move her. And we did it. Maybe we can try hit her with Reynold. That would be cool. And Junia has got no attack in the back, so she can heal one of her allies. Let's do the little one. We rolled for 2. That's pretty good. Oh, come on, man. Oh well. Let's try hitting this lady with the stun. She's got high dodge, so we didn't manage to hit her. Let's try hitting her with this miss. And we inflicted bleed on her. I could try hitting her with Para. Never mind. Got a little bit greedy, I guess. Ooh, 19 again. That's not good. So, this is a good heal for a single hero. Like, right now everyone is almost up to full except for Reynold. So this will be much preferable, but when everyone is like, when everyone is a little bit hurt, this one gets better. But even then, at level 1, this is a pretty crappy heal.
A momentary abatement.
And they're starting to hit Para. That's not good. Reynold can take it. Let's try hitting her again. And we did it. And she's going to die next round because of the bleed, so now we can ignore her. Oh yeah, when enemies die to dot damage, like either the bleed or blight, they leave no corpse, but when you kill them with normal damage, they leave corpse. And that's pretty much like a little obstacle that you have to get around by either removing the corpses with skills like this one, or killing the corpse if you were killing a normal enemy. So let's heal Para. She has a little bit of lost health. Hey, stop bullying her. That's not nice. Para, can you kill this skeleton? Good job. And the skeleton is over. What's Junior's speed 4? Yeah, this miss is kind of fast. I'm afraid that no, we're not gonna extend this battle a little bit longer. We're just gonna kill this enemy and move on. We got some crests, a little bit of gold. And now that this is a normal mission, we could use this button to get our party to the normal position. But yeah, this is not good. Our ladies are a little bit stressed out.
As the light
So
gains
that's not good.
purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
But that's kind of expected from the first missions because you've got no trinkets and no improved skills, and they're also level 0. Like, of course they're gonna take a little bit more stress than these guys. let's try anything here. Maybe we'll find something along the way. Like this sack. Alright, we found a trinket! Unfortunately, this is a trinket for Musketeer, so none of our guys can equip it right now. But yeah, this is what trinkets look like. They also take up space in our inventory. But now we have a trinket for Musketeer. More dudes. And they got surprised! There we go! So, when enemies get surprised, the heroes on our side get to move first, and then the enemies go after that. So when they get surprised, that's pretty much good on us. That means we have a lot more advantage. So what do we do here? I could try hitting this bone arbalist. Boy. Dismas, you're doing a really poor job. Let's try stunning him. Okay, that worked. That worked. We can also do Zell's accusation. This is like a cleave attack. It hits 2 enemies, but unlike Smite, this does a little less damage on both sides. We both have same accuracy. I'm gonna try killing this guy.
Another one falls.
And it worked. So what does Julia do? She could go heal Para a little bit, so I don't have to waste food. Because this is like a very weak attack. I think this Mrs. Reynolds can do the damage while she does a little bit of healing. Because she doesn't have any stun. So yeah, this clears corpses. There's one corpse. Ah, no! That's a little bit unfortunate. Ah, okay. We could kill the corpse. Nah, that sounds stupid. Let's focus on this guy. I think I have an idea. Cool, I start. And you've got less HP than Reynold. I think you need to heal. Christmas! Oh boy, oh boy. Let's try to cleave attack.
Their formation is broken.
There we go. The corpses have their own HP. And let's give the corpse. And what do we do now? Do we do a little bit of healing, or do we demonstrate how to clear the corpse? Let's show how removing corpses work. Yeah, this is how we remove the corpse. And heal Dismas. Can we finally kill him? So yeah, now Para has nothing to do in the back. She can heal one of her allies. It's a very small heal. It's not like Junia's heal that does 4 to 5. This is a very small heal, but that's because this skill can cure blood and bleed, so it's still a pretty good skill. It's not Reynold, I don't know. Maybe Junia can roll? Ooh, that was a nice roll. Perfect, we can finish the fight.
Press this advantage.
There we go. Blood! And another trinket! Okay, so blood is part of Crimson Core DLC. This is a provision that you cannot purchase in the inventory screen. That's... you pretty much have to find it in the dungeon itself, and it's very rare. And the golden rule of this run is always collect all the blood that you can find.
Impressive haul, if you value such things.
And we can also organize our inventory, so like you can move this with the left mouse button, and I like putting blood in this inventory spot right here, so I can see it. Then we have the busts and a leopard trinket. We don't have leopard in our party. And this is another curio. We can... any curio that we find, we can also use items to maybe get some little small bonus. Let's see what... an ornate fountain of holy support. So I wonder what would happen if there's holy water on it. Nice! That's a stress heal. All the way up to 12. Well, that's pretty good. So right now, only Junia is a little bit stressed out, everyone else is fine. Like, 12 is okay. Oh no!
Cruel machinations.
Oh, I
spring
spoke
to
too
life
soon!
With a singular purpose.
They are traps! And they are always invisible unless we scout them. And right now, Bara hit the trap and now she's back to 30-something stress. That's embarrassing. Ay ay ay. Scouting! So yeah, this is how the trap looks like. This little icon. Oh, little nasty bugger. And the way you disarm traps. You get these icons that you can check out. Everyone has disarm trap. And like I mentioned before, Highwayman is a rogue. He is very good at disarming traps. So he's got 90% to disarm a trap. Yeah, it's a little bit of it's a little bit improved because he's level 1. So yeah, good job, Dismiss. You disarm the trap. And when someone disarms the trap, they also get a little stress heal. It's 8 stress heal, I think. More dudes, and we know what she does. She is not nice. You can either move her or just play grenade. Could try this because she's surprised. And if this hits, we could kill her. 6. Maybe 1 to 2. If she hits 2, she's dead. Aye, that did not work. But it was a cool idea. I'll give it that. That was a very cool idea. What does Reynold do in this situation? Could he try to kill a skeleton? Or go for a stun? They both have small chance to stun. I think I'm gonna stun this guy. Let's see what this does. The good news is, at least she's dead next round, but yeah, this is a little bit unfortunate. Yeah, Junia is not doing good. But yeah, she's dead. We can stun this guy. And try to kill this dude, because he's gonna move. Right now he's bleeding.
Slow death. Unforeseen.
And
unforgiving.
I'm not gonna roll any further. I think I want to heal her a little bit, just so she's up to full. And Crusader goes first. Or Reynold, I should say. Let's try to bleed.
As the fiend
There we go.
falls,
He's
a
dead
faint hope
before he got a
blossoms.
chance to move. That's the ideal scenario. And now we get to kill this guy. Alright, good job.
This expedition at least promises success.
And now we have an arrow gems. I wonder if I could use a key on it. And I will be
Laden
right.
with loot are often low on supplies.
Yeah, let's check out what this curio is. It's a little backpack.
A handsome
And we
reward
found another key.
for a task well performed.
Jade? Oh, we've got few torches. That's not good. Let's drop this anti-venom for the jade. And we can also move back to go back into the room that we just left. There is a small chance that you can get extra stress by moving backwards. But yeah, sometimes moving back is a good option. Hey, stop getting stressed, Bara. Another backpack.
Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles.
It's a lot more.
Paid for in blood.
It's a lot of treasure than we need. Oh yeah, there's the hunger check. So we need 4 food to eat a whole party. And it heals a little bit. There is no like hunger system. It's always random. Like you can always you can get 1 hunger check per hallway, and you cannot have 2 of them in the row. Like if we If we got a hunger check here, we cannot get a hunger check here. But if we were to go back, we would have a small chance to spawn a hunger check. And it's always invisible, we cannot scout it or anything. And the quest is now complete, but I wonder what's in this room. We have got one more torch left, which is a little bit dangerous. Yeah, it is a little bit dangerous, but you know, I'm greedy. Oh, it's at 76. That's good, I guess. Maybe the risk is worth it. Oh, Oi. Yeah. We know what they say about stress. It's not good. Let's try getting rid of him. And yeah, let's go aggro. We cannot get more stress. But yeah, skeletons, they might have higher bleed resist, but they are vulnerable to blight. It's only 10% resistance. So what do we do now? This big guy. We can try killing him and not have to worry about him in the further rounds. That's right.
Executed with impunity.
Good work, and yeah, let's do a little bit of heal. Oh, that was a crit! The crit heal, I don't remember how crit heal works. I think it works the same way as if you would with the damage, but I could be wrong. Let's remove the corpse, and we failed the move. But luckily, we only took a little bit of damage. Let's focus on this guy. We cannot bleed him, but we can slow it down. And what do we do now? Big heal. She's got nothing else to do. Let's try stunning him. Maybe to like slow him down. Oh boy, this is gonna take a little bit while. Another crit! And much like with the crit from the normal damage, a crit heal also. Stress heal for a little bit. Let's try killing this guy. He's almost dead. Oh boy, okay. This works. Let's do the cleave. That's 3 to 6. That should kill him. Good job.
Slowly, gently. This is how
And everything is ours. And we have the key for the heirloom chest. And we got more stuff. And yeah, we pretty much explored this entire dungeon. There's nothing else left for us to do. We're just gonna leave. And let's try to click on this quickly to get quick results. And our ladies are now level 1. And everyone got quirks. So Reynold is now doing better damage against humans. This was... what the hell? What the hell? Luminous is good. Risk Taker is a little bit strange for Plague Doctor. Hey, thanks for watching. Consider liking the video if you enjoyed it, or commenting if you have got any suggestions or questions. You can also check out my other socials to see my further work and other stuff. See you next time!